Hi guys, welcome back to Football Manager 2018. Now that Season 3 is over in our Rangers game and we have won the title for the first time during our Rangers playthrough, I just wanted to go through and look at what I regard as the top 5 best signings that we've made that's got us into the position where we've won the title. Before we start, as you can see here, we've actually selected 6 players. I just want to give an honourable mention to young Akram Afif, the young Qatari who plays on the left side. We brought him in for free in Season 2. He didn't do that well actually, he only made 7 starts, 9 appearances off the bench, got 1 assist and a 6.80 average, so I wasn't too sure that he was actually going to make it. But if you take a look at Season 3, his second season here of course, 29 appearances, 1 off the bench, 9 goals, 5 assists, 4 Man of the Match awards and a 7.27 average rating. An excellent free signing in the end. He's done so well in the season that we've won the league. Basically we played him through necessity in Season 3. We had loaned Derlis Gonzalez in Season 2 for the left side, and then he's obviously went back, I think he's at West Ham actually in this save. So we needed somebody on the left side, and we basically threw in Akram Afif out of pure necessity, and he's risen to the challenge brilliantly. 15 dribbling, 11 for his finishing, 12 passing, 15 technique, 15 pace, 16 acceleration, 15 agility, so he's good playing down that line of course, 15 flair, so he's tricky, decisions 12, so he's not bad at that. He's quite a brave player and he's got good vision as well, off the ball 12 as well, so he's a good solid player on that side. Only 23 years of age. Of course, he's an honourable mention, doesn't make the top 5 for me, and that's purely because you kind of need to put a little bit of work into him, really. As you see, when we first signed him, he didn't make the grade, so, you know, you have to bring him on a little bit into his game. He's not just going to plug right into the side and do well for you. So he's an honourable mention, doesn't quite make the 5, so out he goes. And we're now looking at, as you can see, mostly defenders and central midfielders. So number 5 for me is Maximiliano Oliveira, the Uruguayan. He came in for 1.7 million from Fiorentina. First season, kind of like Akram Afif, he managed 11 games, 3 off the bench, made 1 assist and ended with a 6.79 average rating. As you can imagine, at the end of Season 2, when that was the season when he came in of course, I was kind of thinking, we've got a bit of a donkey on our hands. I thought he looks a good player on his stats, but he's not playing very well for us, and it's probably a waste of the 1.7 million. And if you play as Rangers in this game, you of course know 1.7 million is quite a big spend actually for Rangers. But Season 2, kind of like a FIFA actually, we threw him in on the left hand side because we needed to, we couldn't find better quality, made 31 appearances, 2 off the bench, got 6 assists this time, and ended with a 7 average rating. Now you might say, somebody with a flat 7 average rating, that was lower than Afif. How does Maximiliano Oliveira make the top 5 and Afif doesn't, when Oliveira's rating, of course, as you can see, is lower? Well, the explanation for that is because he is a left back. I think when you start as Rangers in this game, left back is a massive problem area. You've got Lee Wallace in there, who's okay at best and is possibly past it and over the hill, and you've got Lee Hodgson, who, I mean, jury's out for me if he's even a football player. He's just hopeless. And by the way, this is no commentary on how he is in real life. I've barely seen him. I don't think he's rated that highly in real life, but in the game, he's absolutely hopeless. As we can see from Maximiliano Oliveira here though, he's one of those players that I really love. He's one of those players where every single stat more or less is between 12 and 14. He's just a solid all-round football player. He's not particularly quick, he's not particularly great in the tackle or marking, he's not particularly great at crossing or dribbling, but he is solid at absolutely everything, and you can count on him to do a job. He can play in the middle as well, so if somebody gets sent off, you can put him into the middle to make a back 3. So he's a versatile player as well, and I think it's just worked out really well for him in Season 2. Season 3, playing at left back was a large part of his winning the title. Now, by the way, don't get me wrong, he can still have some shocking games, and I still want, going forward as I play the series we have going on the channel, I would still like better quality, but because he's plugged that gap, which I think is the biggest weakness actually in Rangers' team at left back, because he's plugged that gap, he makes the top 5 as number 5, Maximiliano Oliveira. Now, number 4 for me, Ivanildo Fernandes. He's a centre-back, as you can see, another position, I think, in which Rangers have a lot of trouble. As you can see by his stats, he's just a solid player. He's not fantastic. 13 heading, 12 marking, 13 tackling. His first touch is 9, so it's not terrible, and he's got 11 for passing, so he can play a bit with the ball at feet. He's got very good mental stats here, solid, good positioning. He's got a decent bit of work rate. He's a fairly brave player, but not overly brave. Decent anticipation. decent concentration and composure as well. 11 decisions, so he's not bad. He's not excellent, but he's not bad. 193 centimetres tall, so he's a big lad. Jumping is 14, which is pretty good. 15 strength, so obviously he's a big solid boy at the back. If you look at his statistics here, we brought him in from Santa Clara in Portugal's second league, and we brought him in for 350,000 in Season 2. He did quite well actually in Season 2, unlike Afif and Oliveira. He made 15 appearances and 1 off the bench. He scored 2 goals and got an assist, and he finished on a 7.09 average. So he did quite well actually in Season 2, but obviously we still didn't win the league in Season 2. If we look at the title-winning season, Season 3, he made 21 starts, 4 off the bench appearances, 3 goals, 2 assists, and he ended on a 7.32, which is a hell of a big rating for a centre-back. So Ivanildo Fernandes, pretty much for the same reasoning as Maximiliano Oliveira, makes the grade because he's plugged what I consider to be a pretty considerable gap in the Rangers team at centre-back. And for 350k, that's an absolute steal if you can get your hands on this boy. He is a good player, man. Really good player if you can get your hands on him. 350k, a lot more reasonable to be aiming for that with the kind of budget that Rangers have. You can't go out like Celtic and just drop like 6 million on a player. So he's a good steal. Number 3, Liam Henderson, the former Celtic player. If you look at him, he is a solid central midfielder. Look at this for a playmaker. 14 passing, 15 technique, 14 vision, 14 first touch, decisions 14, composure 14. He's off the ball is 15, teamwork 13, work rate 12. He's just a solid player. His physicals aren't massive, but he's got 15 strength there, by the way. He's not just going to get bumped off the ball. He's not a wee sort of slight player in the midfield there. You know, sometimes playmakers, you can just bump them off the ball. No, this boy, he's quite solid. He's 184 centimetres and 81 kilos, so he's a pretty hefty lad. He's a decent size for a midfielder, and they're particularly a Scottish player. You know, genetically we're not the best according to our previous manager, so he's pretty damn good on those physical numbers there. But look at this, actually, we brought him in for free there. It was actually the end, very end of Season 1 we brought him in when his contract expired. So really it was Season 2 when he played for us for the first time. 33 appearances in that one, all starts, 2 goals and 5 assists, and a 7.16 average rating. Really solid numbers for a central midfielder. Now you might be saying, central midfield isn't really a big problem area for Rangers. You know, they've got Ryan Jack in there. They've got Jordan Rossiter in there, so they've got some decent players in central midfield, but I just didn't feel like they cut it. I didn't feel like they really did what they had to do in there. I felt they were kind of, you know, a lot of them getting like 6.7s and things like that. They just never really seemed to have a consistent run of games, where there's Liam Henderson, when we dropped him into the team, excellent consistency over a season, playing 33 games. Okay, we didn't win the title that year, but Liam Henderson had a great time of it. Moving into Season 3, his appearances drop a little bit as there was a bit more competition in the midfield, especially with Burjonas developing a lot more. We also brought in John McGinn as well, who we'll get to in a minute. So, 24 appearances, 3 off the bench, 5 goals, 2 assists, and a 7.18 average rating. A solid player. Obviously, again, playing the majority of the games in the league, even if he didn't start more or less every single game the way he did the previous season. We also dropped the number of midfielders we were playing. We were playing 3 in the middle Season 2, and we dropped it to 2 in the middle in Season 3. So getting the number of appearances he did when there was actually one less position to play for there in the middle, if you'd like. Very impressive in that, and a solid performer yet again. Looking at him here, you know, he's got a Scotland cap now. He's worth £8.5 million, and he's still only on 6.5k. Now, he has a couple of times moaned about trying to get a higher contract, but I've just told him plenty of time remaining, and he accepts that no problem. So if you can get Liam Henderson in, by the way, once again I'll say it, on a free transfer when his Celtic contract expires, snap him up. He will come in immediately and be a good enough player to get into your first 11, and then he will develop as well. That's the great thing. He's a young player, so he's going to develop. He's not like one of these holdover players, one of those players who's going to be better than what Aberdeen have, but isn't quite going to match up to Celtic. Now, he'll develop as the club does, as you do going forward, and he'll match up to Celtic, no problem. So there you are, Liam Henderson, number 3 on the list. Number 2 is John McGinn. He's on 18k, so he is on more money, but he's nearly worth 10 million now at this point. An excellent player, of course. Solid stats for basically everything. We look at box-to-box midfielder. He's got the stamina, strength, balance, acceleration, natural fitness, Good off the ball positioning, work rate, determination, whatever you like, composure, bravery, decent anticipation even if it's a little bit low. He still does come back and make a few interceptions, good tackles as well. Can't he finish that well, but he does chip in every now and then. 12 long shots, he's got a couple of them. Good first touch, good passing, tackling. He's also got 14 technique, 15 determination, which is excellent stat for anybody to have. Work rate's obviously high. His vision's 14 as well, so we can see a pass, and 14 passing, you can play a pass. Decision's only 10, but I've never really seen that really affect him. I don't think like he'll batter a long shot when a pass has been on or anything. I've not really seen that for me. So if we actually look now at his stats, he came in very end of season 2 on a free transfer. So basically he came in at season 3, as I say, free transfer again. His Hibs contract ran out. They didn't manage to renew him. 34 starts, 1 appearance off the bench. So he is a mainstay in the team. 4 goals. 10 assists though. 10 assists is massive, and he got a 7.5 average rating in the league. That is insane. That is a humongous rating, and that's one of the reasons we're walking away with the league title in the trophy room. By the way, John McGinn 7.5 came in. Absolute stick on when he's fit to start in the team. What a player he's been. If you can get him, by the way, in an earlier season, possibly paying a fee to Hibs, I would go for it as well, because he is such a solid player. But we got him for free in season 3 when he's 25 years old, possibly even a little bit more developed, playing all those games for Hibs than he would be at the start of the game. So we've possibly got more of a finished product getting him in season 3. Maybe if you were to pick him up for a fee in season 1 or 2, he wouldn't have produced these numbers right away, but he's definitely got this in his locker. Insanely good player. I mean, look at that, 4 stars rated by the coach. Ingstaff, a superb player, by the way. If you get the chance to get John McGinn, snap him up. If you get the chance to get him for free and you're put off by his wage demands, don't put that behind you. Get him in. He's such a good player, and as you can see, he's took a team who were pretty decent in the league, and he's made us champions basically. If you look, I'm going to show you a little bit of the league here. I wasn't going to focus on this kind of thing. I was going to talk mainly about the players, but just to make a point, last season we got 73 points. This season we had 86 points. I'm not saying that's entirely down to just John McGinn, but he's one of the big reasons why that's happened. So that's John McGinn. Now, number 1, best signing for Rangers. People who watch the series here on the channel that this is coming from, you'll have known who this is going to be. It's going to be Murray Wallace. I rave about him every episode, Murray Wallace. He's got everything going for him. He's got the fact that he's playing so well going for him, and he's got the fact that he's plugging what I consider to be a big gap in the Rangers team at centre-back. He's such a good player. I mean, his stats are okay, actually. I mean, 13 on his heading, 12 marking, 13 tackling. Perfectly fine, if not exceptional. 12 passing, 12 first touch. So he's good with the ball at the feet as well. He's not going to give it away. You can play proper football if that's how you like to do the business. Anticipation, aggression, bravery, composure, concentration, decisions, determination, positioning, leadership even at the back, teamwork, work rate, it's all good. His mental stats really are what make him an exceptional player, I think. Physically as well, by the way, 16 for his jumping reach and 15 for the strength. He's got an okay bit of pace. I mean, 10's not great, but he can accelerate 12, and he's got a bit of agility there. Balance is okay, so not immensely pacey, but I've seen slower defenders put it that way. 188 centimetres, 75 kilos, so a solid big boy at the back as well. But looking at how he's done this season, he came in again for free in season 3 there, coming in from Scunthorpe, and look at Scunthorpe numbers, 7.03, 7.34. So when he comes into us, he plays 33 games in the league, starts them all, scores 5 goals, only gets 1 assist, but a 7.53 average rating in his first season at the back. And we struggled at the back. So bringing him in, he's been so solid. Returning to Rangers, obviously he was here as a youth player. Returning to Rangers and doing so well when he came in. I honestly can't rave about the boy enough. The amount of times we play a game, ball gets knocked long, Murray Wallace clears it, and that's the start of an attack. It's basic stuff. He's no somebody who runs into the midfield and sprays a pass for a through ball. You know, one of these defenders who tries to do too much. He's a simple player. He makes a good header. You can cycle the ball to him and he can pop it off to somebody else. He's a solid player who does exactly the job that you need him to do. And that's why Murray Wallace, as a centre-back, is my number 1 signing for Rangers. If you can pick up Murray Wallace, if you need to pay a fee, get it paid. Even in 2 years ago in season 1, he would be about 25, so he's still a senior player. Don't don't pass him up if you can bring him in, especially like us if you can get him for free. Another player, 16k a week, so he's on a relatively high wage coming in on a free transfer, but get him picked up. What a player he's been. Again, we'll take a little look at the league here because I just want to show you the difference in our defensive numbers from season to season. So last season we conceded 48 goals. This season we conceded 42 goals. So is that a massive difference? No, it's not. But if we take a look at the goals conceded, 13 of those were conceded against Celtic, and Celtic scored 6 at Ibrox and they scored 4 against us at Parkhead. So that's 10 goals taken out of that right away. Celtic are obviously an anomaly, by the way, who can really, really punish you, which they did this season. That pushed our number up. If we take a look at last season, actually, 48 against, only 6 were against Celtic. So you have to sort of balance that out a bit. Celtic scored 7 more goals against us this season than they did last. So Celtic, a bit of an anomaly, has obviously pushed that goals against number up, and it's still better than last season. So that's how good he's been coming in, shoring up that defence in there with Ivanildo Fernandes, and that's what for me makes Murray Wallace my #1 Rangers signing. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you can pick some of these guys up in your game, or even if you've got some other players you brought in, if you've got a left back you brought in, you say, Maximiliano Oliveira, you should really check out this boy, he's well better than him. Leave it down in the comments, by the way. Let's, we'll have a wee discussion about it. If you've got some players that you've signed for Rangers that you think top the 5 that I've put on there, by all means leave a comment and we can get a discussion going about that. But as I just want to say thanks for watching. I wanted to make this video because we've won the league now, and I wanted to highlight top 5 boys that I thought made the difference winning the league. So there they are there. And obviously the honourable mention for Akram Afif, and then the 5, just to count down, Maximiliano Oliveira, Ivanildo Fernandes, nearly forgot there, Ivanildo Fernandes, Liam Henderson, John McGinn and Murray Wallace. So excellent boys. If you can get them in, get them in. If you've picked them up in your game, by all means drop a comment down below and tell us how they got on for your team. But yeah, thanks for watching, and of course if you want to see these boys in action playing for Rangers, you can follow, you can subscribe to the channel to see our Rangers series that we have going on. Season 4 upcoming. I'll see you for that, hopefully.